Hello, and welcome to Tell the People, a program about our Catholic faith, with news and information in and around the Catholic Diocese of Lafayette. I'm Stephanie Bernard. In today's show, Trista Littell interviews Don Berkowitz about upcoming Great Adventure Bible studies. Father Michael Champine's talk in this segment, What It Means to Be Catholic, is about prayer and works. And in a conversation with Bishop Michael Gerald, Monsignor Richard Green interviews Bishop Gerald about permanent deacon ordination. And now, Catholic news on this August 12th weekend. St. Pius X Church, located at 200 East Bayou Parkway in Lafayette, will present the Great Adventure Bible Study course, sometimes called the Bible Timeline, beginning on Thursday, August 16th. The study will take place each Thursday from 9 to 11 a.m. in Conference Room A. To register, please contact the St. Pius X office at 232-4656. On August 22nd, a Bible study class will begin on the Gospel of Matthew. The class, which will be held at St. Pius X Elementary School Library, will be held from 6:30 to 8:15 p.m. each Wednesday. A $30 donation is requested for all offered classes in order to help cover the cost of study materials. Our Lady of Sorrows Retreat Center in St. Martinville will host a Come and See Day of Recollection on Saturday, August 18th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Participants will learn more about the consecrated life, including the life and mission of the Community of Jesus Crucified. There is no cost or registration necessary, and those who attend should bring a brown bag lunch. Mass and the opportunity for confession will be offered. Mark your calendars. The community of St. Thomas More Catholic High School in Lafayette is set to host the St. Thomas More Revival on Saturday, August 18th. The event, which will be held from 6 to 9 p.m. on the grounds of the school, and the entire public is invited to attend this free entry. Family-friendly revival featuring professional Christian music, Josh Blakesley. The dioceses of Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles will sponsor the third Life Awareness Retreat from August 31st to September 2nd at the St. Charles Center in Lake Charles. This 3-day retreat experience is open to men and women within the age range of 17 to 40 who are seeking to discern God's will for their lives. An informational brochure, which includes a registration form, may be found online at www.dialab.org/life-awareness. To register, please fill out the registration form and mail it along with a check for $25 made payable to the Diocese of Lafayette at Diocese of Lafayette, Office of Vocations, 1408 Carmel Drive, Lafayette, Louisiana, 70501. Fathers Jude Halfin and Neil McNeil would like to invite all married couples to join them for a special married couples retreat on board the Holland American cruise ship. The 7-day cruise is scheduled to depart from Seattle, Washington on September 22nd, with ports of call in Alaska and British Columbia. Additional information, including rates, may be obtained online at www.globaltracktravel.com. Coming up next, Trista Littell interviews Don Berkowitz about upcoming Great Adventure Bible studies.
My name is Father Tom Voorhees, and I am a priest for the Diocese of Lafayette. Almost 2,000 years ago, Jesus called the apostles to drop their nets and to follow him. Today, Jesus is still calling young men to the Catholic priesthood. If you are attracted to a life of service to God and neighbor, maybe God is calling you. If so, please contact your local Catholic priest in the Diocese of Lafayette.
Welcome to Tell the People. I'm Trista Littell, and joining me today is Don Berkowitz, who will be speaking with us today about the Great Adventure Bible Study. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you could be with us today to tell us about the Great Adventure Bible Study. What is it, and can you tell us what the format of it is?
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me so that I can help spread this word. The Great Adventure Bible Story, it's something that I discovered when I came to Lafayette. And as I look back, I tried to read the Bible. And after I retired, I had plenty of time on my hands, so I tried to read the Bible. And I would probably get into Leviticus, and I felt like I was wading through about 10 feet of snow. I didn't know where I was. But when I got involved in this Great Adventure Bible Study, it finds out that there are 14 books that you read in sequence, and when you do these, you understand the story of salvation and why Jesus had to come and what he did for us. So the Great Adventure starts out with the Old Testament. The program is a series of DVDs. They run almost an hour each week. And then the second hour is dedicated to questions. Well, how all that fits in is in advance people will read what the topic is that we'll be studying. They answer about 15 questions. And then we look at the video and we talk about the questions. And so much learning goes on in the two individual sessions, it's amazing. First of all, you start to learn the story of our salvation. We start out with the Catechism, Articles 113 through 118. It tells us how a Catholic looks at the Bible and how we can understand and interpret what we see and what it means to us spiritually. Then we move in, start with God created the world, and we move through the chosen people and how the chosen people seem to just ignore what God was trying to get through to them. And we start wondering, well, why are we looking so hard into this Old Testament? And we find that our Catholic religion is rooted in the Old Testament. And as you get deeper and deeper into it, it starts to make sense. Eventually, you'll get through the first 24 sessions. And the next recommended course is the Matthew course.
So the first is a sequence of 24?
It is 24 sessions, and we start, I run these courses during the daytime, and we start in the morning, and there are a lot of mothers that have children in school and they're looking to study, and this fits into their time schedule very well. So we finish the Old Testament, and then we study Matthew. And we say, well, why are we going to Matthew? Well, Matthew links the Old Testament, and Matthew is writing to the Jewish people, telling them why Christ came, convincing them that Christ was the Messiah. And he just links back into the Old Testament. And it seems like Jesus loops back into the Old Testament, fulfills something that was missing, and we move on. And by the time we finish with Matthew, Christ naturally has died, okay?
Right.
And we move into Acts. Acts covers about a 30-year period from after Christ died to just before the destruction of the temple, the Jewish Jerusalem temple. And we see how the church got its start. And we move into St. Paul before we finish Acts and see what he did for us. By the time we finish these three studies, we're ready to move into the fourth, which is Revelation. Revelation being a real eye-opener. We get the Catholic perspective and understand what John was trying to tell us.
Well, it sounds like a very rich study that I'm sure many people are going to want to take advantage of once they hear all about it. So where will these be conducted?
The courses that I'm conducting are both at Holy Cross and St. Pius. And Holy Cross and St. Pius run all these courses that I've spoken about, and they run them daytime and they run them nighttime to try to reach out to whoever can make it. The doors are open.
What can participants expect to take away from these Bible studies?
Oh, a rich understanding of what our faith is all about. And we talk about that during the sessions. When we go to Mass, 2 of the 3 readings we hear are from the Old Testament, okay? And they're there for a reason. And after you've had the study, you understand why they're there. You understand what was happening at the time. And for the standpoint of the readings in Mass, it makes it more complete. Hopefully, people will take away from this series of courses the desire to help spread the faith themselves, to try to evangelize to other people that are looking for this information.
Well, if someone wants to participate, they just have to call either Holy Cross or St. Pius. Is that how they should go about it?
Call the office and leave your name. And there's no limit on the class size. We will manage whoever comes.
You've certainly piqued my interest. I would love to be a participant. I certainly thank you for joining us today. And we ask you folks to stay tuned because there's more to come on Tell the People.
Thank you, Trista and Mr. Berkowitz. Coming up next, Father Michael Champon's talk. In this segment, What It Means to Be Catholic is about prayer and works.
For 37 million Americans, this is life living below the poverty line. Every day, a struggle just to hang on. Right now, 1 in 8 Americans lives like this. Many have jobs, children, families, and every day hanging on gets a little bit harder. Find out what you can do. Please, don't let one more fall. Go to povertyusa.org and get involved.
Good morning to all of our viewers. Welcome back to Tell the People, to What It Means to Be Catholic. We're in the month of August, and during the month of August, we're reflecting on a series about means to sanctity. We already covered about how we're all called to holiness, called to the perfection of Christian charity, in a word, called to be saints. There's no greater way to give glory to God than to become a saint. And the only real sorrow of this world is that we might die without reaching what God desired for us, so that what was planted in us at baptism come to fruition in the flower of sanctity. But to get to our goal, God is going to bring us there, but He wants cooperation. And He's given us means. He's given us the recipe to holiness, and He's given us certain tools for our cooperation with His graces. We spoke about last time the sacraments. Par excellence, nothing more powerful than the 7 sacraments, living the sacramental life, going to confession regularly and fervently, even for venial sins, trying to make a fitting reparation and a strategy for removing the dominant fault in our lives, and Holy Communion and the Mass, bringing our sacrifices, or offering our dominant fault on the paten to be consecrated, to have our hearts changed, and to be receiving communion with greater and greater desire, and thus to become more and more conformed to Christ. Sacraments, very powerful, we reflected upon last time. Frequent and fervent, and thus we will be using a means powerfully to arrive at sanctity. There are other principal means. We mentioned 3, the sacraments, using the sacraments, but also prayer and good works. These are principal as well. Prayer, we'll speak about